I want to play this clip from your Tim Pool podcast. I thought it was excellent. I'm going to play it so people can see it right now, and then I want to get your reaction to that and what you think, other platforms are not doing, and rather, maybe more important, what Gab is doing. So I'm going to play that clip.
We had Rumble, the video platform. A lot of their terms of service are very similar to the big tech platforms. Then we had the CEO of Getter. They have very similar rules, but I guess Gab is the one place where your only rule is what, the First Amendment?
Yeah, I actually brought a copy of our terms of service right here, right?
Aha.
So if you want,
It's the pocket constitution.
if you want me to read it, Congress shall make no law representing an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise of or abridgment of the freedom of speech, right? So it's really that simple. If it's allowed by the First Amendment, it is allowed on Gab.
Very gangster, yeah. So what's that about, and what's Gab about?
Yeah, I mean, Gab has one simple rule. If it's allowed by the United States First Amendment, it is allowed on our website. And, that includes things that are going to offend a lot of people. There's stuff on there that offends me. There's stuff on there that I don't like. But, I think it's important to protect all speech and allow people, as adults, as individual human beings to, siphon through, what they can discover when you allow that free flow of information to occur, as opposed to us, editorializing and deciding what is truth and what is news and what is real and what isn't. I mean, there's always going to be a bias and a slant there. So, I lean towards letting people make those decisions and, processes for themselves. And if you look at hate speech, if you look at the actual term, Google has this thing called Ngram search, which basically searches all terms in books dating back hundreds of years, right? So, and news articles and websites and everything else, right? So when did this term hate speech pop up? Well, it turns out it didn't exist prior to the 80s. And in the 80s, it started in academia, where you have these Marxist leftists who started throwing around this word. And now all of a sudden it's in the, our lexicon around the world. Everybody, is talking about hate speech. And it's just like, we're talking about it like it's been around forever. And it's just this norm. But really, it's only been around since around the 1980s as a concept, as a linguistic concept. And what it is it's a linguistic tool. It's a weapon. So they use these weapons in a way where you cannot dissent. The phrase hate speech, who would say I'm for hate speech? I support hate speech, right? Like, why? It's designed in a way that you cannot dissent against it. Another example is the Affordable Health Care Act. Well, who would be against affordable health care? Who in their right mind? So what they do is they design these words and these terms so that any dissent against it is illogical, right? Just by nature of what the word that they're using is. And this is a rhetorical tool that they use in order to control us and manipulate us. So anything that dissents against the regime, anything that dissents against big pharma or big media or big tech or special interests or the establishment politicians, that is hate speech, right? So, that is how they're controlling languages through these terms. And it's really like word wizardry, right? It's demonic, in my opinion, is what it's doing. It's manipulative, deceptive, and it's designed to control.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me. This is the Dream Rare podcast. God is great. We're going to have a great time leveling up together, learning something new,
I hope so.
laughing a little, having great
Oh, we're gonna laugh
conversations. This podcast is self-sponsored by DreamRare.com.
DreamRare.com.
So pick yourself up a Made in the USA hat or a shirt at DreamRare.com to help support the show.
It's up to you, really.
Also, thanks to everybody at Patreon.com/RareTalk. Become a producer at Patreon.com/RareTalk to help keep this stream independent. Okay, that's enough. Who's ready to start the show?
I really hope we don't get censored for saying this, but whatever.